The whispering arch in the shadowed hills beyond Rome, where the Tiber's waters murmur secrets to the wind, there stood the remnants of a forgotten ruin, an arch of blackened stone, its once proud carvings eroded by time and neglect. The locals called it El Arco Muto, the Silent Arch, though none could say why it bore such a name. No bird sang near it, no vines dared creep across its surface, and even the boldest shepherds avoided its gaze when the sun dipped below the horizon. It was said to be a relic of a Rome before Rome, a temple to a deity whose name had been scratched from history, its altars buried beneath layers of earth and shame. On a fog-choked night in late autumn, a stranger arrived in the nearby village of Montecros. He was a lean figure, cloaked in a tattered cassock, with eyes that gleamed like wet obsidian. His name was Father Isidoro, a disgraced priest turned antiquarian, obsessed with unearthing the lost gods of antiquity. The villagers watched him with suspicion as he asked about the arch, his voice low and insistent. They warned him to leave it be, that it was cursed, that those who lingered too long heard whispers in a tongue no man should know. But Isidoro only smiled, a thin, jagged line across his face, and set out at dusk with a lantern and a leather-bound journal. The arch loomed against the bruised sky as he approached, its silhouette jagged and unnatural, as though it had been clawed from the earth rather than built. The air around it was thick, heavy with a stillness that pressed against his ears. He traced his fingers along the stone, feeling the faint grooves of symbols long faded, spirals, eyes, and something that might have been a mouth, stretched wide in a scream. His lantern flickered as he knelt at the base, digging with a small trowel. The earth was cold, unnaturally so, and as he worked, a faint vibration pulsed beneath his hands, like the heartbeat of something vast and sleeping. Hours passed, and the fog thickened until the world beyond the arch vanished. Then, his trowel struck something hard, a slab of marble, etched with the same strange symbols. He brushed away the dirt, revealing an inscription in a script that twisted the eye, Icae felis, qui dormit sub pede diorum. Beware, fool, who treads above the sleeping god. Isidoro's breath quickened. He pried the slab loose, and beneath it lay a hollow, a pit that exhaled a sour, ancient wind. His lantern flared and died, plunging him into darkness, but not before he glimpsed something within, a glint of bone, a shimmer of scales. The whispers began then, soft and sibilant, curling around him like smoke. They spoke no language he knew, yet their meaning seeped into his mind. Awaken. Rise. Feed. The ground trembled, and from the pit came a sound, a wet, grinding scrape, as though something immense were dragging itself upward. Isidoro stumbled back, his journal falling into the mud, but the whispers grew louder, threading through his thoughts until his own voice joined them, a chant he could not stop. By morning, the villagers found the arch unchanged, save for a faint red stain pooling at its base. Father Isidoro was gone, his lantern shattered, his journal torn and scattered. The pages bore frantic scrawls, sketches of a thing with too many limbs, too many eyes, its form spilling beyond the edges of the paper. The last entry read, "It sees me. It knows me. It is me." Days later, the whispers reached Montecros. They came at night, slithering through cracked windows and under doors, calling names in voices no one recognized. The villagers boarded their homes, prayed to saints who offered no reply, but the shadows grew longer, and the air tasted of rust. One by one, they vanished, first the children, then the old, until the village stood silent, its streets empty save for the echo of something vast moving beneath the earth. The silent arch remained, its stones gleaming wetly in the moonlight, as though polished by unseen hands. And if one stood close, too close, they might hear it, a chorus of voices, rising from the pit, singing praises to a god that had never truly been forgotten, only buried, waiting for a fool to set it free.